Yeah, hi there. I'm going to give you an insight into my experience with the Phantom 3. I'm now going through a stage where I'm very interested in the Phantom 3 and I'm learning all about it. I've had, I think, 4 of them, and now I'm on the Phantom 3 Professional here. The standard of the DJI, I think, is the highest. I've tried the yuneec, I've tried the xk380, which I could never calibrate the compass well, and it just flew away one day. It was quite close, it just flew away off out to sea with the camera, and it was goodbye to that. So I decided to get something better, more reliable, and I tried the Phantom 3 Standard from Apple, and I was surprised how good it was. It really is. It's quality. It's really the same machine as double the price the Phantom Pro 3, although when you go to the advanced and the professional, you get Lightbridge. Now Lightbridge works on 2.33 gigahertz, I think, and the standard and 4K Phantom 3 work on the 5.33 gigahertz, and 233 is much better if you want to go distance. I found with the Phantom 3 Standard I was losing signal, especially if I was near any it seems to be difficult to get away from all the cables, aerial cables which provide electric for houses and buildings. But I found it generally just reaching about 500 meters, and I'd get the red warning on the screen, and it would often come back on its own. When it got near, I could cancel that and fly it in on my own, which I normally do. Now the transmitter on the Professional is slightly heavier than the 4K, although the 4K has the 2 antennas like the Lightbridge transmitter. In fact, it looks exactly the same. We are missing, I think it would have been nice if they had input this, the Lightbridge HDMI output connections on the top here. You can buy a piece for about $80 and change it, but the Lightbridge has the HDMI out on the Inspire. But apart from that, the transmitter is the same, but it's not Lightbridge on the 4K. When you go down to the Phantom 3 Standard, it's even lighter still, and only has 1 antenna. But I didn't really find much difference in the range from the Phantom 3 Standard and the Phantom 4K. I like the way the propellers screw on tightly. I'm not 100% sure on the propellers on the Phantom 4, which I've been looking at now in detail. Sometimes when the propellers are changed frequently, taken on and off and on and off, they can pop off with a bit of wear, but you can bend the little clips upwards, I've seen. Or you could change the whole piece on the top of the prop. It's a lot of speculation whether 1,500 euros for the Phantom 4 is better than 1,000 euros for the Phantom 3 Professional. You're literally paying 50% more, but if you have the money, it's probably worth it, or worth trying it anyway. I love the support which you get on the 3 4K and Advanced and Professional. You don't get this on the Phantom 3 Standard. You get a little plastic support that goes on the bar at the back. Start it up. So those are my fundamental feelings about them all. I think it's a great machine. It's the leader in its field, with a model coming out every year. It's in a way copying the Apple iPhone. Interesting to see what the Phantom 5 will be like. The picture quality is stunning, although I'm finding with 4K my computer, which is a 2009 model, is going a bit static, and when it's uploaded I normally download that to 1080p, and even that can take hours to upload because I'm here in the countryside in Spain. Other little things I like about the price of the Phantom 3 Standard, I think that's probably the best for the price, because you're getting literally 2 quadcopters for the price of this. The Phantom 3 Professional, which has 4K, not 2.7K, and the Lightbridge. But the Lightbridge has better distance. But you can fit these aftermarket antenna boosters, which more than double the distance in most cases. But all I've done so far is I bought the little copper parabolic reflectors, which do greatly improve the range, and I've tried that on the Phantom 3 Standard and the Phantom 3 4K, and I definitely got more range. But you've got to point it at the UAV. The camera on the Phantom 3 Standard isn't Sony, it's a Panasonic processor, although I think they're all made by DJI. But on the 4K, the Advanced and the Professional, they have the Sony Exmor processor inside. The camera on the Phantom 3 Standard used to get very hot. It would always get very hot, and it worried me. You couldn't touch it, it was so hot. And the SIM card goes into the body, but the SIM card on the 4K and upwards goes in here. It's quite easy to remove. The picture quality really is stunning on all of them. They're all very, very good. If you move quickly round, you really need 4K 60 frames a second. I think you might be better off with 1080p 120 frames per second, which you have on the Phantom 4, than the 4K. But I haven't tested that. All I know is the 4K is very, very high quality, occupies a lot of space, several gigabytes for a few minutes. It's taking a long time to upload it unless you have very fast connection. And really looking for simplicity. So I think that's my review over. The fan makes a bit of noise on the top of it. That's how it is. It's very, very stable in the air. You can stop and take a video and it looks just like a photo. I've applied for my pilot's license at the university, and I've been reading about all the rules of the FAA rules in the United States. 107 it's called, which is 600 pages long. I think that's all I can say for the moment. I've now ordered some filters for it. An ND16 filter, which reduces the light, and also a polarizing filter from Amazon. I've also ordered a lanyard, which you don't get with it. Another annoying thing is they don't give you the cable to connect to your iPad, although it's an Apple product, or Apple sold the product. I think they should give you the cable for micro USB for Android, and also the cable for Apple. Thank you for listening up to now. Just let me show you a few things before you go. This is warm sunny Spain in August. This is the view here. The transmitter. It's quite weighty, the Lightbridge transmitter. It does notice from just the 4K transmitter, which also notices from the standard. These buttons on the back, you can tailor them to do things. This button makes the camera go down, I think. But I'm not paired yet. Quite sleek and clean. Got the gimbal up and down. Got GPS mode there, attitude, and then on the left side you can enter the flight modes. Different flight modes like follow me, but you have to take off first. The buttons on the top, video, the button over there is for taking pictures. Quite weighty with the battery in, and quite light with it out. So the battery is half its weight. The sensors on the bottom, they're slightly different to the 4K, which has sensors underneath, but they seem to be a bit bigger. There's little subtle differences, like the charger with the Phantom 3 Pro is much bigger than the Phantom 4K, but it charges quicker. I like to keep the props on, I don't want to keep taking them off. And that way you know that it's fairly tight, because they go against the thread. And I keep it in a box. Let me show you in my lounge. That's the back of it anyway. Let's go in the lounge. I'm going to turn it off first. I could show you all my other toys. The light permits. See if I can put a bit of light on now. I've got some light on. So these are my other drones. I started off with the Parrot AR drone. Yep, I had some fun with that. That works with your telephone or iPad. I've got a hexacopter there. Lost that in the neighbour's garden, went out of signal, but he gave it back to me. I've learnt a lot with these little JJR 1000s, great little copter. I've got 3 of those. I bought some slightly bigger 380mm batteries. The pocket drone, yeah, I've had a great time with that. Pocket drone really flies like a manual racer. So I put, at the moment, I'm looking at cases for the Phantom. I just put it in here, in its box, but in another plastic box, which is about €6. But I think I'll get a rucksack so I can walk up the mountain with it, but then I've got to take the props off. But I could get a bigger metal case and leave the props on, but then it would be difficult, harder to carry. I think the most attractive case I've seen is the hard shell one. It's black, about €57. That's my DJI flame wheel. Got a problem with it at the moment. That's my tarantula. It sort of skews off to the left and right if you let it. You've got to give it more power. Now in here, this is my second drone. Very favourite, tough little thing. It's a 250 racer. I've just bought some new batteries and propellers for it. But I've noticed Mr. Steele's using just 3-bladed props, so I think that's the way to go next. There's my DX5, I really like that. But you can't beat the light bridge or the Wi-Fi if you have the standard drone, and that big screen with all your controls in it, your height, where you are, the map. It's fantastic. Good. Well, I hope I've helped some people with this video, and we'll say goodbye.